This is the Blind Grilling Experience, and I am the most interesting griller in the world. Welcome back to the Blind Grilling Experience, BGE Nation. I'm so glad you guys could join us on our podcast today. We are excited to announce a lot of things that are happening, including being on iHeartRadio, along with iTunes and Google and Spotify and Spreaker and all those other podcast formats or platforms. We are also on iHeartRadio, so be sure and share and spread the word and let folks know. We appreciate so much those who subscribe and join in supporting us in what we're doing. And today, I am extremely excited to bring on a special guest. We have Jeri from My Blind Mama's Messy Kitchen. And joining her is Miss Kate, who has also been on her YouTube channel quite a bit. Ladies, how you doing?
We're doing good.
Yeah.
Thanks for inviting us onto your podcast.
Absolutely. Glad to have you. And man, I tell you what, your YouTube channel I love it. First of all, I've been a subscriber for quite a while, and probably at least a year, but let's just jump right into this because I'm really curious about a couple of things, and then we can just kind of sit back and talk and get to know, or let folks get to know us a little bit better. But you have your YouTube channel, which is My Blind Mama's Messy Kitchen. And how long have you had that channel? When did you get started in that?
It was April of 2018. So two years ago. A little over 2 years ago. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Now, what about the name? How did you come up with that name?
Oh my goodness.
Uh-oh.
Well, that's interesting because I follow a group on Facebook, and it was such a catchy name. It was the Blind Lady Cafe.
Yeah.
And they've got, she posts recipes and just funny memes. And I always wondered if she was really blind, because it doesn't seem like it, because she never mentions anything about being blind or whatever. But I don't know her story. So I'm like, that's such a catchy name. I liked it. And when we started putting together the channel, I'm like, well, we need a good name, good catchy name.
Yeah.
And so I kept going, my blind mama. And one of the kids said, My Blind Mama's Messy Kitchen, because I'm always griping that my kitchen's a disaster.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Dylan, I remember me and my brother were watching a movie in my bedroom, and then Mom comes in and she goes, so I'm starting a YouTube channel. You got any names? We were just throwing out names. She's like, no, that one's, no.
It really had to grab me. And
right.
I still like it. I've toyed with the idea of changing it from time to time, because a lot of people, when they mention it, they get tongue-tied, and it's kind of a long name.
Right.
But every time I think about changing it, I just can't do it. I just can't change it.
Yeah, and I mean, I think, of course, watching the YouTube channel and so much that you do with your kids, especially Kate over there. I mean, she's always, talking from behind the camera or laughing at you.
Yeah. Got to keep the laughter in it.
Absolutely. And I think the name just fits so well. It just, it's great. And so, so I love the name. So I'm glad you're not changing it. Yeah.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I see a lot of comments. They're like, the name doesn't make sense. You'd never have a messy kitchen.
Well,
Mom would be like, reply back and be like, you don't see behind the scenes.
Yeah, right. Yeah. The name is about when the camera's not rolling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I am their blind mama. So.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, that's cool. Well, so you've been doing it for a little over 2 years. That's what caused you. I mean, you said you wanted to do that. So, from listening to the other, was the other one a YouTube channel or that you were watching?
No. It was just a Facebook group that would share recipes. And I never did figure out if she's blind or had anything related to being blind at all, but But the reason I started YouTube, I was actually not even familiar with how YouTube worked for the longest time. I'm always late to the game. I was late to joining Facebook. I was late to the iPhone.
Yeah.
So I was kind of late to YouTube. It's been around for a long time. And I actually started listening to audiobooks. You can find some limited, but some audiobooks on YouTube for free.
Mhm.
And then I started not Googling, but asking YouTube for tips on how to find work from home if you're a blind person. So I was trying to use the keywords, and I came across a channel, and the channel's name at the time was Blind Nation.
Mhm.
And he was doing he was talking about something he had joined. It actually didn't end up working out for making money. It was a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
And he admitted that. He's like, that didn't work.
Yeah, right.
Don't do that. But then I contacted him, and we actually became friends, and his channel kept going with other things blind related. And he actually I said to my husband, because I've always loved cooking, like, what if I start doing a YouTube channel with cooking? And he's all for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I talked to my friend about it, and he actually just kind of encouraged me to just go for it, because I was so scared. So scared, if you watch too many different videos on how to make a YouTube channel, you could go crazy thinking that you need it to be scripted and you need this and you need that. No, I really think you just go on there and be yourself.
Yep.
Those are the best videos.
When we first started, she used to go insane. She'd be like, clean up every single thing. Like, she wanted everything to be perfect. I'm like, does it have to be perfect?
Yeah. But once I did it, my very, very first video, I don't recommend anybody watch.
No, it was shepherd's pie.
No.
Before that.
Before that, I did an intro video. I was just sitting there by myself at the kitchen table. I'm like, I'm going to see if I can just upload how easy is it,
Right.
And I did a simple little intro.
About her, like about me video.
Yeah, but you could tell I had no idea what I was doing.
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's awesome. Now, what was that, Kate?
At the beginning of our YouTube channel, she was less comfortable. You would wear like sunglasses and stuff.
Yeah, I did.
And as we got later into the channel, she just decided not to wear them anymore, and got more comfortable with the people that were watching her.
Yeah,
right.
I realized people didn't care if I had sunglasses on or not.
Yeah. Yeah, and now, and you even did some videos by yourself. So
several.
I know most of them, I remember Kate being in the background. Tried, she says.
I'd be at school sometimes.
Right.
Videos, she'd try to record her cooking herself.
And she did good. Now there's a few I remember that she did really good. It was awesome. And I think what I really enjoyed about that was, because even for me, most of what I did, I always had someone working the camera. And I had some kind of sighted assistance with that. And so one of the first ones I remember watching with you doing it by yourself, it was, I think it was some type of potato or something you put in the oven on a cookie sheet, something with a cookie sheet in the oven. But that's actually the reason why I did probably a couple. I think I even did a live stream where I was by myself, and when I started the live stream, the camera was facing the wrong way. And so someone commented, they're like, no, your camera's I think turned the wrong way. So I just turned the camera around, and those who were watching on commenting helped me line up the camera and went from there, and it worked great. But I don't think I would have done that. At least not as soon as I did, if I hadn't watched, you doing that by yourself on your video. So that was great. So
thanks. That's encouraging.
So now well, I'm going to ask Kate a question here. What is your favorite thing that your mama makes?
Oh gosh. Like from the videos or just
in general?
Like
yeah. Just what she cooks. What's your favorite thing that she makes?
Oh, that's a hard one. I have a lot of favorites.
Okay. Well, you can name more than one. That's no big deal.
Number one, we made this on a video, and we did try again off video, but it wasn't as good, but it was still good. Her orange chicken.
Okay.
That's always my favorite, and I don't know other than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was orange chicken in the crock pot.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, it did come out good.
The beer bread was good.
Beer bread, yeah.
Right. Okay. Awesome.
We made beer bread when we had our old setup when my dad was editing the videos and stuff before I did it, and our lamp broke. The lampshade broke, so my dad's like, "Why don't you use it for lighting in the video?" So we had
Right.
foil around a light bulb that would shine on her in the whole kitchen, so that would just light up the kitchen next to the camera.
Yeah. Well, then see, that's awesome. I mean, just taking advantage of what you've got, and that's cool. That's cool to hear some of those things.
When I record by myself, though, I always forget about the lighting.
Right. Yeah.
Like, oh, people need to see it. Oh.
Yeah. Right.
I don't have that lamp anymore because our dog broke it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. But see, and that's really cool because that's things that I think people don't know about behind the scenes. You know, probably not something that was talked a lot about. And so I really enjoy hearing that kind of thing. But now, Jeri, for you yourself, what's your favorite thing to cook?
Bread.
Bread. Wow.
Yeah. I love to make bread.
Any particular type?
Any type. I like to make banana breads and things like that, but my favorite is the yeast breads. Sandwich bread, or I like to make pizza dough with yeast. Every time I make it, I'm always saying, they can hear me from the kitchen going, "Oh, this dough is beautiful." You know, and I get goofy. I get very goofy about it because you don't need your eyes to make a good bread dough. It's all in the hands. It's all in the feel of it. If it doesn't feel right, then it's probably not right, because bread dough is a touchy thing. And I've had bread dough that I want to throw across the room.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I have finally found the recipes that work for me, and they are just kind of a no-fail kind of bread dough. And I love the whole process of mixing it together, the smell of the yeast, letting it rise, smoothing it out. I love the whole process of it. So
yeah, I
enjoy
it
that.
When it rises. Yeah.
Yeah. I enjoy that more than making dinner or anything.
Right. Yeah. That is so awesome. And that's actually one of my favorite things to put on the Big Green Egg smoker is bread. It turns out amazing. And pretzels. Oh, my daughter's got a pretzel recipe that's amazing, and we love to do that on the grill. So
yeah, homemade pretzels, there's nothing like it.
That's right. Yeah. And we stuff them with either brisket, or you can do like pepperoni and mozzarella, but we'll do brisket and Alabama white sauce with a little cheese and make stuffed pretzels.
Oh my word.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Oh my goodness.
So now, can you think about what's your favorite video that you did? Is there any one video? And I'm gonna ask you your favorite and your least favorite, if you've got one one you maybe even considered besides the first one.
Yeah, that's the first one that popped in my head.
Right. You know, as far as taking down or something, but you didn't. What are the one or two that really stand out to you?
My favorite one. No, that's not my favorite one. Sheesh. I'm trying to think of
when you got almost 2 years of videos, it's kind of hard to remember all of them.
Well, the ones I did with my mom, they were a lot of fun to do because she's a funny lady.
Yeah.
But those weren't cooking. Those were just out having fun with my mom.
Yeah.
Or doing grocery haul with my mom.
I was going to say only your grocery hauls with her was hilarious.
Yeah. Her and I together is like Lucy and Ethel.
That's right.
It's a good time.
Yeah.
Cooking wise, oh my goodness, probably some of the collaborations I did. Like there was a side dish collaboration. What was it? Oh my gosh, I can't remember the name of it. I wish I could just pull it up right in front of me here.
Yeah.
I did a collaboration where we were doing a super side Saturday with my friend Vicky from Vicky's Country Home. We did lots of different side dishes, or we were doing Super Bowl snack videos one time. Yeah, or the what's for dinner videos Those get
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
of views.
Yeah. Didn't you do a collaboration with cream cheese?
Cream cheese.
I was thinking there was like recipes where there was a recipe where you had a collaboration where you had an ingredient. I don't know why I was thinking cream cheese.
Oh my
but maybe
gosh,
not.
what was it? Well, one time we did collaboration with wontons.
That was it. It was the wontons. Yeah.
That
That's
was
what I
with
remember.
Vicky's Country Home.
Yeah, okay.
as well.
Wonton Wednesday. It was.
Yes, that's
right.
what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was. Yeah, and I think that was one of the first videos I saw that you did.
Okay.
And I don't know why it popped up, but it did. It popped up on my feed on YouTube, and it was this Wonton Wednesday, and there was your title, My Blind Mama's Messy Kitchen. I was like, whoa, okay, cool. And so, yeah, that was awesome. But I remember because shortly after that, I had learned a recipe about brisket wontons. And so we did that, and in fact that was one of the things we cooked at an egg fest in Georgia that just turned out amazing. So, but yeah, wontons are cool. They're so versatile. But yeah, that's probably the first video I think I ever watched of yours was when you were doing that collaboration.
Oh wow, they are versatile, and I never even had given them a thought before, other than when you go out to eat and you have them. I never thought about what all you could do with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was fun coming up with recipes. My husband and I would just, because he's a wonderful cook too, so we were just put our heads together and be, oh, you could do this. Oh no, how about this? Oh, you could take some of this.
Yeah, right. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
That's some of the best results is from that kind of from that kind of thing right there. You could do this and this, and yeah, they turn out really well. So that's awesome.
It's fun.
All right. Well, hold on just a second. We're going to take a little bit of a break and talk about one of our partners, which is Kick Ash Basket. This week, Kick Ash Basket is, of course, one of our partners providing heat-resistant gloves. They provide the Kick Ash Basket for all kinds of charcoal grills, the Kick Ash can, of course, to help make cleanup a whole lot easier. They've got the J.J. George grill torch for lighting your grill. All kinds of great accessories. Go to kickashbasket.com and check out all that they have to offer. All right, Jeri and Kate, let's talk a little bit about some of the tools maybe that you can't imagine cooking without. Is there anything particular that well, there are probably two categories of things that I think about in the kitchen. And there's those things that are specific to help someone who's blind or visually impaired. And then there are those things that you use in a very unconventional way because they were invented with absolutely no blind person in mind, but you found a way to use it. So I know that's kind of putting you on the spot on that, but is there anything in the kitchen that you just... You find yourself using more than anything else that helps you?
My chopper.
Chopper?
And it wasn't designed for blind people, really.
Yeah.
It's I don't have the name brand of it. The name brand of it is Chop Wizard, but I have a knockoff of it, and it comes with a lot of different attachments, different size blades. Not really blades, but what do I want to say? Like grates.
Yeah.
That thing is wonderful.
I like that thing.
I don't mind using a knife and get in there and chopping things up, but this is faster. And all of your pieces, like say you're doing potato or onion, they all come out
same size.
Yeah, uniform.
Right.
So it's I love my chop. Well, I call it the Chop Wizard. I don't know what the actual name of this one is, but
sure,
it's great. It grades cheese too and everything.
Awesome. Yeah, and now I'm sure the buttons are raised. You can determine pretty easy what it is you need to do just by feeling around.
Yeah, and it's not like a food processor. It's just a plastic container, kind of a rectangle shape.
Mm-hmm.
You just take the top off of it. It's got several different tops that you put on it, and it reminds me of like a cheese grater that you would lay on the top of something.
Okay.
Like lay over the top of a bowl.
Yeah.
And then you can press, oh gosh, how do you describe it? It's I I'm not used to describing things to other blind people.
Right.
Do you run into that?
I do. I've been working on that. In fact, with the videos, that was, in fact, after probably the first couple of folks that contact me finding the video and find out I'm blind, and they're, we love it, but I really wish you would describe it a little bit more what you're doing. I'm like,
yes,
yeah, I guess.
And I try.
I guess so, yeah.
I try to do that, but I stumble and I'm.
Yeah. It's not as easy as you think. Which
it's really not.
Yeah. So we should be a little bit more nicer to the sighted folks who have a little bit of difficulty because we can't even do it ourselves.
Like my husband, I'm always going, could you please describe it to me a little better?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, I know it.
Anyways, it's a really cool chopper, and the Chop Wizard is the name brand of it. So
you don't even plug it in?
No. There's no.
Cool.
Yeah, there's no sharp blade spinning in circles or anything like that. I won't use those.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Buttons that
Okay.
It's really cool. You the lid kind of opens up. It reminds me of, say, like a one of those bridges that opens up and lets the ships go under.
like a drawbridge. Yeah.
Yeah, like a drawbridge, and it there's a bowl underneath, and you can lay the different blades down on top of the bowl, and then you press down with that lid that's sticking up. You press down pretty hard. You got to give it some elbow grease, and
it's a little loud, but
it's loud. Yeah, you punch it down, and then your onions or potatoes or whatever fall down into the bowl.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, so that's my favorite tool.
Yeah,
and my garlic press.
Oh yeah. Yep. Sure. Now, anything that you use that is designed for someone who's blind or visually impaired?
Not anymore. Can you think of anything that I use that's...
We made something into something for blind people.
Yeah? Like what?
We had that circular spice rack thing that you turn.
Yeah, but that's not really...
Yeah.
Anything with Braille or?
Yeah, my husband bought a spice rack because our spices are just helter skelter because he cooks too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Enough said.
Yeah.
And so he bought me a spice rack at Target that's got it's jars, and you fill up the jars yourself. And so we sat and brailled, each name of the jar and then filled it up, and it kind of spins around on the counter. And
yeah.
I haven't shown that one on a video because honestly, it's not
the best.
It's not exactly what I was going for.
Yeah.
I like to use, here's a good tip. You know how a lot of spice jars have the shaker top on them?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not a fan of shaker tops.
Okay.
Because sighted people can eyeball, that looks to be about 2 teaspoons, or they can shake it into their teaspoon. I don't know about you, but when I go to shake something into a teaspoon, it never goes into the spoon.
Yeah, it's everywhere, yeah.
And so I like to use jars that are wide mouth, like a small mason jar, and fill my spices, put my spices in there, and then I use my measuring spoons. I'll either, if it's a metal spoon, I can bend the spoon so that you just dip it in and scoop out, and then level it out with your finger.
Right.
When Dylan was a baby and he was going through the baby food jars, I saved those and started using those.
Yeah. Now on mason jars, I don't, and you may have known this, you may not have, but those when you buy like a Parmesan cheese container, for sprinkling on pizzas, the lid that screws off of that fits perfect on mason jars. And,
really? And
so you've got 2 sides. Right? You flip one side and it's got large holes, but you flip the other side and it's really wide. So it's almost like I think of like a baking powder where you can slide your spoon in, and when you pull it out, it levels it.
I did not know that.
And so when you open it, almost like a half moon shape opening. And so you stick your spoon in, kind of move it around, get it full. Yep. And when you pull it out, it levels it. But
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, but the Parmesan containers, that lid, if you screw it off, it fits perfect on your mason jars. And then you can, if you don't like to shake it out of your mason jar, you can open up the larger side and just flip it open rather than taking the lid off every time. You can just flip that other half where it's like a big, large opening where you can slide a spoon into it and scoop out that way.
How did you know that?
Well, you know what? There was this one YouTube channel that did Quick Tip Tuesdays. It was called Blind Grilling.
I'm sorry, I didn't watch that one.
That's right.
Oh, okay. I will watch that one.
I want to say something real quick.
Oh, my goodness.
No,
We talked about this a second ago.
Go ahead, Kate.
We talked about this a second ago. I know one thing. I'm going to call it an ingredient. One ingredient that she doesn't like is oil.
True.
Okay.
She always needs help with help. She always needs help with oil because she can't feel it when she pours it into something.
I have a really hard time. Do you have this problem, Chris, when you go to pour oil, measure oil? I don't like to just dump oil into the pan because inevitably I get way too much. So I try, sometimes I'll pour it into a measuring cup and then dip it out with a spoon, but I cannot feel, if it's room temperature oil, I can't feel it.
No, yeah, you can't. That's right.
Okay,
Yep.
I'm glad it's not just me.
Yeah, in fact, man, you're almost going to make me sound smart, and that's hard to do. But you know, when most people think they feel like they say, "Oh, that feels wet," they're not actually. You can't really tell by feel if it's wet or dry. It's a temperature difference, is what you're feeling. Mm-hmm. And so with the oil, anything room temperature is really difficult to do by hand, putting your finger in it. So obviously if something's hot, you can feel it. If it's really cold, you can feel it. But yeah, when it's room temperature, it is really difficult, almost impossible to really know when something is, touching your finger. If it doesn't have a really noticeable temperature difference. So how
do you deal with oil? Or did I miss that video?
Yeah. I told you before we went on, you're going to get off here and like, he's such a jerk.
I don't think so.
No. Actually, I don't use oil that much. I use, when I do things with oil, it'd be like grapeseed oil. I'll pour it into my hand and then I'll rub it as a binder on brisket or some kind of large piece of meat. Otherwise, I use shortening, and I'll buy like a stick of shortening. Almost feels like it's a stick of cream cheese, and I'll just do that and melt it. That way, I know the amount, and I don't have to pour anything. So
that's a good idea.
Or butter. I'll just substitute butter. And I'll use stick butter, and then I can cut it. And I'll know about a thumb's width is what is it?
Tablespoon.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you.
Brain cramp. I get those all the time.
Yeah. So I can measure that out, and cut it and just melt it in the pan. So that's how I handle that. Otherwise, I'm the same way. I attempt to pour oil into a pan, and it is always too much. It is always. So and I
don't know about you, but I don't deep fry anything. I never fry anything. It's not blind friendly. Yeah. That's right. It's not. Now, if you have any blind listeners who do fry and don't have a problem with it, please enlighten me, because I'm terrified of it. Terrified of frying anything. And I would love some fried chicken.
Well,
that I don't order.
Yeah, really. Yeah. Now that's deep frying. What about in a skillet, like skillet frying, like old time fried chicken? You ever?
I've never done that.
Yeah. You might try that. Obviously I would say have Kate there just in case you just like, nope, I'm walking away.
Yeah. I get scared. Yeah.
Sure.
I do.
And anytime things are popping, which is, I think that's one reason why a lot of blind or visually impaired don't cook bacon, at least not on the stovetop anymore. You can do it.
I burn it every time.
Yeah. So
I do.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I will brown. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I will brown things and then put it in the oven. Like I'll brown pork chops, or I will brown
chicken,
because I can handle flipping it once.
Right.
and then putting it in a baking dish and baking it off the rest of the way. But I don't like to continue because that oil gets hot.
Yes, it does. Yeah, it does.
So,
it is intimidating. And to be honest with you, I don't deep fry either. Well, I take that back. I do deep fry turkeys. And that's probably of all the things people would say don't do, it's the one thing that I do, because I do that outside, first of all, away from the house, away from any wood surfaces. So, very, very safe, on a asphalt driveway or parking lot next to me. I can deep fry a turkey, but yeah, in the house, I don't. My daughter, who loves to cook and loves to do things on the egg, she will take a little small cast iron Dutch oven and put oil in it, and she will fry on the smoker. We'll get it hot enough, around 320, 350, and she'll fry, whether it's alligator tail, chicken, or whatever it is, she'll do that out on the grill. So, and deep fries it.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It turns out really good. So that's, but I don't. I'm with you. I don't deep fry myself. And for that reason, if I want something fried, I'm hollering at my wife or my girls and like, hey, why don't y'all fry something? So
yeah, exactly. I'll have my husband do it, or
when you do make bacon, you need help with it.
Oh, bacon. Yeah, bacon is a challenge. I just can't get it right. I burn it. I have baked it in the oven.
Yeah. Yep.
That comes out okay. Kate doesn't, she says it changes the flavor of it.
Yeah. The only thing I would say on that, what kind of pan do you use?
In the oven?
Yeah.
I just use not a flat cookie sheet, but one that's got edges on it.
Right.
And then I line it with foil and parchment paper.
Yeah. And that's generally what we do. And I agree with Kate. I think there's a little subtle difference in how it comes out. But there is a friend of ours who, she's not blind, but in Tennessee, who is an awesome cook. And she has a baking stone that has little ridged sides around it. And it's like one of the Pampered Chefs things, but it's a baking stone, almost like a breadstone kind of thing. And, but it's raised, it's got ridged around it. So even if a little grease pools, it won't run off. And she cooks the bacon in the oven on that. And it's probably been some of the favorite bacon I've ever had. And it turns out really good. So, I don't have one of those stones, so I don't do it personally. But when we're there, I'm always asking her, can you make some bacon? It is so good.
And it keeps its shape better.
It does. Yeah. Yeah, it sure does.
I have a 1.5 pounds of bacon in there right now that I was asking someone to fry up for me, because a lot of times recipes will call for bacon pieces, you know, and you can buy the bagged cooked Hormel bacon. They're expensive.
Right. Yeah.
They're really pricey. And when I've got bacon in the fridge, so I've asked somebody, please fry the bacon so I can freeze it and then just use it as I need it.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And that's awesome. And I'm with you. That type of thing is probably one of the more intimidating things for someone who's blind or visually impaired. And a lot of folks work through that and they're able to do it. More power to them. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
enlighten us.
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
Hashtag blind problems.
Exactly. That's right. Yeah. That's about right. So, that's just awesome. Any thoughts as far as moving forward with your YouTube channel?
Yes, I've actually been thinking about. I've taken a little step back from it, a little break from it. So many things have happened in my life personally in the last year. Losing my father kind of put a kink in my mood.
Yeah.
Now I did do a few videos after that, but it's been a struggle for me. I'm not going to lie. And then YouTube has changed so many things and added so many rules that I'm a little hesitant to have my kids on videos.
Yeah.
And that kind of took the wind out of my sails a little bit, because going back to your question of why I started doing them was what inspired me was I've been blind since 1985. And when I started to learn how to cook or take an interest in cooking, I was in my 20s, and immediately people started asking me, well, how do you do it? How do you do this? And some of my family members won't watch me use a knife.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, ye of little faith. Come on,
Right.
I'm blind, not incapable of doing this. I'm very cautious.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, and there's a lot of blind people out there, or people who are just losing their vision, who are struggling with this. And you can do it. You can. You just have to practice. My dad used to say, practice, practice, practice.
That's right. Yep.
And it's basically I thought, well, if I could if I could get not just blind people to listen / watch the videos, maybe I could help them out, but also sighted people who have always wondered, how do blind people do these things, or who maybe they've never even thought about it.
Yeah.
And then maybe they'll just come across our videos and say, wow, that's impressive. And it does help to break down barriers, because there are barriers. It's I don't know what the right word is to use, but kind of like a what's the
stereotype?
Word I'm looking for? Like a stereotype. A lot of people just don't know.
Yeah.
It's not, they just haven't thought about it. And so.
Yep. It's good, because definitely your channel was not only encouraging, but educational in that respect. I mean, that was, because that is one thing that I think most folks on YouTube who are blind, they want to educate people, sighted people around them on what blindness is, so it's to advocate for them,
right,
and for themselves, and to help others have an understanding that that this isn't, this didn't make us helpless people. And
exactly.
So, we're still moving forward. We're still doing things. We're still providing for our families. And obviously, I mean, you're doing an amazing job, not only with your kids, but just, in the kitchen, cooking, providing, that, for your family. And that's something that in and of itself, there are those in the world that think that's not possible. And I think what really disheartens me more than anything is there are those who think that way, and then they go through vision loss, and they are so devastated and crushed, which it's a terrible thing to go through.
It is.
But when you're already kind of behind the 8 ball in the idea of thinking that this means your life is over, it's harder to overcome and move forward. All right, how can I move forward now? What do I need to do to move forward to do, to get past this? So very quickly, we're going to wrap up here in just a moment, but so you, do you have any usable vision?
No, none.
None at all. All right. 85, you're not even that old. Come on now.
No, not yet.
Yeah.
Give me a few years. Some days I feel like it.
Right. Oh, yeah. I'm feeling older by the day, for sure.
Yeah.
And kids don't help. Make you feel any younger. That's for sure. That's awesome.
Growing up on me.
Right. Yep. So Miss Kate, you tell me something. What probably gets you or blows your mind more than anything else when your mom is doing? What does she do that you're just like, wow?
Homemade bread.
Really? That's all you got?
Yeah, right.
There's a lot of things, but there's a lot of things.
Yeah, obviously.
What about that's not cooking related?
Not cooking related. A lot. Mostly cleaning the house sometimes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's right.
Just saying, like.
That's funny. Yeah.
Because I'm picky. I'm picky about when there's sticky things on the counter. It makes me crazy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll I'll be like watching TV in the living room. I'll look over and she's just feeling around the counter to see if there's anything that she needs to take off.
Yes, and I'm usually grumbling to myself the whole time I'm doing it.
That's right. That's right. I was like, are you people blind? Can you not see this?
Right. I know. Like, how come I'm the only one that can throw this stuff away? I don't understand it. And it's I like to say in some of my videos, because I've jumped onto some pretty big collaborations on YouTube with people who are not blind, and they do like an open collaboration. If you want to do a video, please join us and we'll put your video on the list, right?
Yeah.
So I've just jumped in to some of these videos of huge collaborations of, say, using chicken. Right. And I'm the only blind one there.
Yeah.
So what I like to say in those introductions is I'm just like you guys. Oh, I just happen to be blind.
Yeah.
Just because I do like to include that in the video, even if it's put together by someone who's not blind and probably doesn't even dream that someone who's blind will be in there cooking with them.
Right.
Which is, another interesting topic is, do you use blind in all of your titles or not? And I'm kind of 50-50 on that. I really don't know how I feel about that.
Right.
I want to attract other blind YouTubers or blind people, or, anybody who could be Googling cooking when you're blind.
Yeah. Sure.
And so, yeah, of course I want to use the title, but I don't always use it. Sometimes I just don't feel like using it. I don't know. Where do you stand on that?
I don't use it hardly. I do occasionally, but I started. There's a few videos like how a blind person does does ribs. How a blind, But I've got other rib videos and other meat videos or grilling videos that are similar, but I've changed up a few things, and then I really concentrate and focus on a couple of techniques because I'm blind in those titled videos. But when you get into cooking, I think we've got a lot to, and I know you do. I mean, looking at your videos, watching those videos, those recipes that you were sharing, I've done a few of them. They're amazing. They're awesome. And so that has nothing to do with whether or not anyone's blind or sighted. That's just some amazing food and a great recipe to share and great ideas when someone's wondering, what am I going to do with this? Or, I don't want to run to the store. What do I got left? Here's something in the pantry.
Right.
And then they Google and here you pop up and there's an amazing recipe. I wouldn't want the title, if it said something about blind, for that to cause them to skip over, because, it shouldn't, but we know it will.
It shouldn't, but it does.
Yeah.
And that was one of the considerations when I thought about changing my channel name, was maybe I'm not getting the views because of people tend to run away from the word blind sometimes, or maybe not interested at all. So I don't know. It's a 50-50 for me, because like you said, I just want to do a video on tortellini salad. It has nothing to do with me being blind, but yet when I'm doing the video, I talk about being blind. So
which
I don't know.
Yeah, and I think it's great not to have it in the title for the respect you're going to talk about. So those who watch it, and already in your channel title, it's there. Just like with blind grilling. I mean, that's it's right
that's
there up front.
Yeah,
and so,
that's true.
So each individual video title. I haven't really stressed out. To be honest with you, I really delved into a deep thought on it. It's just occasionally where I really want to reach the blind community with something, then I'll put it in the title. But other than that, it's just whatever the video is about, that's what the title is going to be about. So that's been my approach for the most part.
Yeah, and that's true. It's I just want this video to be about tortellini salad.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I'm blind.
Yeah, exactly. And I think at least in my experience, the barbecue community, and I'm sure the overall grilling community cooking community is probably pretty similar on YouTube, but I've been welcomed with open arms, when it comes
Yeah.
to those things. And it's
Yeah,
been
me
a very
too.
good experience. So
Yes, I've made some great friendships actually.
yeah.
With some people who were just starting out who are now pretty big, and I hope to get there someday. Like I
Mhm.
said, I haven't been very dedicated, very consistent lately.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking this week how much better I felt when I was doing videos, and
Yeah.
I was busier.
Right.
It gave me a purpose,
Yeah.
and so yeah. But
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
we'll
And Nate,
see.
have you on the podcast quite often and share some
Yeah.
recipes, and that might be an outlet for some of that as well. And
Sure.
I think that would be amazing. I would love it, and hopefully, so our
That would be
subscribers
fun.
would love it as well. So yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely, folks. I hope you will check out Jeri and Kate on My Blind Mama's Messy Kitchen on YouTube. Check out the channel. Go through and look and watch and listen to all of those great videos, amazing recipes, lots of fun with the grocery hauls, a lot of collaborations she did with some other amazing channels. But just hit that subscribe button for Jeri, and I think you guys, I know you will not be disappointed going and watching her channel. And so and stay tuned here to the Blind Grilling Experience, because we will have her back and sharing lots of recipes and get into some techniques here as well. So Jeri, I'll give you one of the last words if there's anything else you want to impart knowledge upon our listeners.
Well, thanks for putting together this podcast, because I think it's another great outlet for people who are maybe losing their vision or already blind, who need to talk or hear it from others who have gone through the same thing. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I
And
think it's-
yeah, and we got some great experiences that we'll be talking about coming up, and I'll have you share some, and who knows, maybe Kate will come on and tell on you a little bit.
oh, I've got some stories.
All right, well, great. We know what we'll be talking about next time then.
We'll keep it family friendly.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you guys for coming on. I really do appreciate it. It's been great, and we'll look forward to having you again. Definitely. Folks, again, check out My Blind Mama's Messy Kitchen on YouTube. Be sure and go to youtube.com/blindgrilling. Also on Facebook at facebook.com/blindgrilling. And of course, the podcast is on all the major platforms. And so be sure and subscribe and download and listen to the podcast. Email us at blindgrilling@gmail.com. Let us know if you got any questions, or just what you think about the podcast. I've got thick skin, and if I don't like what you say, I just won't read it twice. So not a problem there. All right, folks. As always, remember, if you're looking, you ain't cooking.